Hey guys, we're just here installing this awesome bit of kit to replace that basket. How good is that? Useless kind of net, elastic. It's alright, but it's untidy. Look, doesn't even look good, does it, right? Look at that. Beautiful. Nice bit of space in there to fit a lot of gear. Probably got 50, 60 mil in there. For your information, I'll measure it at the end of the job. Comes with instructions. I've never fitted one, and I don't know if I've ever or for a very long time removed trim off one of these rear doors. I don't remember. Problem is I've got long-term memory loss. No, I'm just making that up. I do remember stuff. But look, unless I do a lot of something I don't remember, so we're going to go ahead and first thing we've got to do is remove the table, obviously, because the whole trim's got to come off. No big deal. So 3 screws each side, we're going to take the table off. Alright, so next step is we've got to take these screws out. Anywhere you see a screw, obviously it's going to retain the trims and stuff, so those two are done. Oh yeah, that looks like it's nearly ready to come off already. There's another screw here, so let's undo that now. I'd rather take more screws out and always take more off. Okay, so that just comes off. I don't know if that's meant to come off that easily. Yeah, no clips or anything on there, guys. So those 3 screws are all the same, so I'm going to throw all 3 in there. Right, so 2 came out of the top, 1 behind there. Bada bing. That's pretty simple. You can have a look at the back of it, a bit of dust in that. Okay, so I'm not sure of the next step, but let's take this toolbox off, right? So we're going to take that lid off. It's not going to hurt to get it out of the way. I don't know whether we need to, but how easy was that? Right, at least takes a lot of the weight out of the way of the job, even if it didn't need to be removed to, but I'd suspect that the clips that retain it go into the steel here. I could be wrong. Now this looks suspicious, like there's a clip or something going on there as well. So let's get in and have a closer look, right? Underneath, just this is my nice blunt screwdriver, doesn't really scratch anything. We'll just see, yeah, they come out too easy as well, so that's what you want. Look, some things, new cars are a bit harder, but you know, old cars, well, we're not too fussed about it, is one thing, and they just come off a little bit easier. Let's undo this clip though, look at that. Get that screw off, because that's definitely going to retain it also. Motorbike it a little bit if you need to. That's what cabinet makers taught me, it's called motorbiking apparently. I've just tied that up there like that, so I'm not sure if there's something else going on there. I can't see a screw, but there's a look at a little blue thing there. Not too sure. We're going to manhandle it a bit, so I'm really just going to grab that bottom corner, I think. Might put something under there or anywhere I can feel a gap and give it a good yank, because it's just going to be clipped on, I believe. So we'll just take a step back, and so we're just going to work our way around the edges here. Right, and just sort of grab that and pop all the clips off. So let's do that. Alright, so tell you what happened. I started the video, I started to take the trim off and the battery went flat, so it was that short, it wasn't worth keeping. But I'll just run you through what we did, and it was very difficult, so I suppose this is a little bit the important part, and we did have 1 clip break, so I'll tell you and show you exactly what happened. So I came in at this corner here. Wouldn't really matter what corner, so I just put a little screwdriver, lift it a little bit, just enough to get the fingers in, because the fingers don't scratch anything. You can use different tools and stuff, but by using 2 hands and spreading your fingers, you know, like this, you're unable to spread the load on the trim, so you're not bending the trim in one spot. Now, you can see where all the clips are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 around the outside. You got plus another 2 at each side at the top. This one here in the middle, and it looks like another one there that didn't come out. Now, some of them were a little bit stubborn. One of them broke, so I'll just show you exactly what happened there. Okay, so probably this trim's never been off, I'd say, and I'm just going to give it all a clean up, and I'm going to glue the plastic, whatever, you know, arrow dot, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's heaps of clips there. It wouldn't matter if you didn't, but look, it's getting late in the day, so I'm going to glue it, let it sit overnight. Hopefully it'll stay together when it goes back together. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll show you these clips, right? So that's what they look like. They're pretty sort of standard Toyota clip things, and there's no way to release them. You just got to pluck them out. Normally, so if you just pull on that trim there, you know, you can open up a little bit and get a tool, but look, I think there's no need. Generally, they all come off. Look, see there, they all are. They're all the same, all the way along the bottom. okay, including the one in the middle that didn't come off. That's what happens. If it, for some reason they're a bit stubborn, normally it just slips through or slips off, and that'll come out of the door. We'll do that in a minute just so I can show you, and it just slips on there. Pretty simple. I'll show you with this one, right? So they just slide on and off like that. So normally if it's really stubborn, it'll just slip over there, but you can still reuse it. Now we had one break. I don't know what happened there. Probably the first part of a trim I've broken in a very long time. Yeah? But we've got the piece there and we're going to glue that back on. And this middle clip here that didn't come out, we'll get that out. And there's also that blue clip at the bottom. You know where we said there's something blue there? There is another clip. I don't know why they got a blue one there, but anyway, that'll stay, I think. Well, see, that's part of the straps. I don't know. Does that stay or does it go? It might go, actually. I'm not too sure. I'll work it out, but I'll let you know later in the video. That's the idea of doing the video, to show you. So at the moment, we're just going to give it a clean up and replace all the clips. There's nothing hard about getting these clips out. Generally, don't cut them, but just grab them with the side cutters and give it a... Well, see, this is why they're a bit stubborn, right? So that one doesn't want to come out. It's going to come out. This one was the one that broke, so it'll probably come off easy. There you go. So it didn't come off too easy, but there it is. So same thing with this one, just try a different angle. It'll come out. There it is, right? So nothing wrong with it. You just slip that back into your trim where the missing ones are. And here's our little piece we've got to glue back in. So we're just going to make sure that's nice and clean, and we'll be able to hopefully glue that back on. Any other clips that didn't come out. Looks good. So we'll just give this a clean up and be back with you shortly with the next bit of info. So I guess let's undo these screws and get this old dodgy panel off. I guess it's the top one here. So we're just going to use the impact driver and quickly zip all those out. So we're going to leave that for now. Although it's, I don't know why it's loose. I guess the strap holds that tight. So I don't know if that's going to rattle around or be of any help or not. I think we might cut the straps off. We don't need those anymore. Not sure about that part yet. We'll work it out. Okay, so turn it over. There's the old basket. Probably give that a bit of a clean up before we do anything else as well, because we like clean, so we'll go ahead and give it a bit of a clean. Alright, so it looks pretty straightforward to put the, I don't know what we're calling this yet. I mean, I think Kaon call it a cage, but it's not really a cage. It's more of a rear door storage. Door storage shelf. Anyway, because it's flat here and it drops down about 2 mil, they've got this space where I think goes about there. So that's pretty easy. That sits in place like that. Of course, this will just sit there. Geez, how good does that look? Awesome. Right, now we've got a little bag with hopefully 7 nuts and bolts, and this is a little bit different to IKEA. You've got to supply your own tools, so that's cool. We can do that. It gives us the opportunity to use some quality tools. So I'm just going to go and put all these little, there's 7 of these little things, so I'm going to put them in, and then there's little washers that go behind and little nylock nuts that go behind as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I'll try and shorten the video by speeding it through. Okay, so we just got those screws sitting in place. For your information, it's a little 3mm Allen key. So we just zip those in with the impact drive really lightly. They don't actually grip, that's why there's little nuts and washers to go behind. They grip lightly, don't get me wrong. You could probably get away with it as long as you didn't push anything really hard. That's actually staying in there, no problem, but we'll go ahead and put the nuts and washers in behind. So we're just going to put all the nuts and washers on the back. I've turned it over. The thing to note, to be careful of, the spacer that goes between the plastic at the bottom there, until you put these nuts on and do them up, it can just slip out. So just make sure you put the bottom on the ground so it sits in position, then carefully lay it down so that you know the spacer stays in the right position. Now I'll go ahead and put the washers and nuts on. So as I said, we've got all the nuts and bolts in position. If I try and tighten those they're just going to spin because they're nylox. It requires a minimum amount of pressure to obviously, but you don't want to over tighten them. Just take them all the way in, but tight enough so that spacer doesn't fall out of place. So I'm actually just going to pick it up, and so then the spacer is obviously down to the ground, because at the moment if you tip it the other way it'll just come out. Just put your hand in the tray, make sure it is good, and then we're just going to go ahead and use a, just for your information, I think it's an 8mm. I'll just make sure. Yep, that's it, 8mm. We're just going to go ahead and look, I'll try and tighten them up without holding the other side momentarily. Yeah, no, it's just spinning, right? So I've got to go grab a 3mm Allen key, which I don't have yet. So we're just going to tighten those up at this stage. So go ahead and do that if you're watching is the next step. So here's our repair job we did last night. Okay, so we've just glued that clip back on. You can see it was broken right in the middle there. Right, you can see where we put a bit of glue. It was cracked there and down along the side here. And I figured what's on the outside isn't going to hurt. It may add some strength and help adhere to the plastic. Probably would have been better if I roughed up the plastic a bit for it to grip, but I didn't. But it's wrapped around and over that moulding or whatever, so it should be good. Seems pretty strong at the moment. So what we'll do is just go ahead and put the clip back on. Right, there it is back in place. Obviously when we refit it, we'll be gentle not to you know, push on it too hard, but it's just what it is. The other thing I'm going to do, I was thinking about it, it's not like this trim's going to fall off, but to make it easier if we ever want to get it off later, I might put a bit of lube, like just a little bit of moly coat on these clips here, just to keep them a bit more smoother flowing, A, for going on, and next time they need to come off. Now like I said, one broke, it's unfortunately, clips don't normally break on Toyotas for whatever reason. That one's a little bit different shape to the others. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but let's just count them. So there's 4 along the top, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 1, 2, 3 down each side. 4 at the top, that's 10, and another 4 at the bottom. So you've got 14 clips plus another 1, 2 in the middle. And then you've got your toolbox locks hold. So even if 1 or 2 or 3 is broken, don't stress, it's not going anywhere. Not ideal, but look, it doesn't matter, okay? But we just went to the extra, spent a few minutes and used up some of that 2-year-old 2-pack Araldite. Let's see if it works. All right, we'll get it all back together. So we're refitting the trim. We've got our basket all fitted up. Like I said, I've left the straps there. First thing you need to do is just get it in place and hook. Would help if I locked the door in place, but just get that top trim. I'm just using my left leg to hold it in place and try and get that top trim hooked in so it locks onto this. Not quite right, but yep, that did the job. So that's clipped in, so that's not going to go anywhere at that end until I'm wrong. You know, sometimes I'm wrong. Well, we'll see what happens, right? So I'm not holding it, it's just hanging by that end. Now I'm just going to fiddle around and hopefully this just pops in fairly easily. All right. That's what you need to do first to get the height right, okay? So again, fingers in behind. Okay, so the next clip of that trim may have just pulled off, so that's all right. We'll just get that all clipped in like that, and that will, if there's any clips there, it'll all just pop back on afterwards. Now, you just might want to have a look in there, make sure it's all lined up, but it can't really be wrong. All these holes are going to line up. Right, I can tell you I'm looking in the side, yep. So just make sure they're all lined up, and literally right, and hopefully that one down there was a clip also. There's another one about, look, it's not going anywhere, right? So this is the whole point, it's not going anywhere. It's just not going anywhere, okay? Rock solid. It's probably got too many clips for what it is. So that's the deal. Just hook it in to the top trims first up here before you push it in, and that they're all good, right? So when you're taking it off, just to recap, you've got a clip, you've basically got 1, 2, 3. Same with the other side, 1, 2, 3. You've got 2 there and there, and you've got, what did I say? There was 14, so 4. That leaves 10, 3 at the sides and 4 along the bottom. So we're around about 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't stress if one breaks. You can glue it like I did if you like, whatever. I think our one was this one here. Was that right? Yeah, the one just about there. So once you pop the sides, you know, what I did, I obviously, you know, best you can do, spread the load. That's what I prefer, rather than levering, and which damages plastics, you know, it leaves that white mark when you see people doing that. So I'd prefer to use hands. It hurts your fingers and that, but I'd rather, once that's out, I'll have my hands spread there and there and just kind of like, you know, together. Anyway, comes off easy. What do we need to do now? We need to pop this trim back on. I'll probably forget something, because this is what happens when you're doing videos. You're thinking about what I've got to tell you, not what I've got to do. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to get the impact driver just to zip it a bit more quickly, because that's how we roll. I try not to make the videos long, believe it or not, but it just turns out that way, because you know, you're actually doing what takes time to do. Right, we don't motorbike it, overspin it, whatever. It's not going to matter for these clips if you did, but look, just light on the trigger, and as soon as it stops, or that first click, you back off. It's just a screw going in a bit of plastic, right? So, happy days. Yeah, that's the other favourite saying at the moment. Okay, of course we've got that screw there, remember? So, I'm going to try and get that in. Motorbike it a little bit. One for the cabinet makers, motorbike it. Okay, clips back on. This is all pretty straightforward, so, but I'm going to give you some more information at the end, of course, just recap everything. It's going to be a bit harder to get that clip on down the bottom. You could throw it away if you wanted to, it's really not going to make any difference. The main thing is it stops dust coming in. If that plastic seal on the door, and I suggest you don't take it off, because it's those plastic seals on door trims and that, they work really well the first time. Look at that, how cool is that? They work really well the first time. Once you take them off, sometimes they don't like going back on the way, you know, like they were at factory. So avoid that. On the Prados, once they get a bit older, like all cars really, I'm not picking on Prados, they're the best. Look at that, beautiful. Now what was the stuff that we had in there before? We had our illuminator light. Oh, so that fits perfect. Anybody, I'm going to give them a plug. Full Drive Super Centre, you know, some good stuff, some bad stuff, some cheap stuff. That illuminator light for about, I think I paid $16.95. Might have been a bit cheaper with an order, maybe 20 bucks. You know, it's got Velcro, it's got clips. You just plug it in your cigarette lighter. It's got a dimmer switch. You know, you just hang it over the back door here. The way it's a bit universal, you can just move it over to your awning or wherever. I'm really happy with that. That's really good. We'll find some other stuff to put in there anyway. You know, normally we've got the basic cutlery sort of stuff, so there you go. So that way we don't have to get at the main cutlery container. All right, let's get this board back, what do you call it? The back door table back on. I'm pretty sure once we get the back door table back on, we are done. And so this is not going to show you for fitting them. You know, you obviously follow. There's a video. I don't know if I did a video or Kaon's got a video anyway of where you mark it up, but obviously we've already got our holes. Now it only goes into the trims, but it's very strong. Those packages that came yesterday, 25 kilos, I sat them on the table just to see, no problem. If for whatever reason that pulled out, now the screws, they're a really coarse thread, it's not going to happen, but, and you saw how strong the clips are, they're not going to pop out, it's not going anywhere, right? But if it was to, you could then, and I should have had a look while I had it off, drill straight through into through the metal of the door. Maybe it's not there, but anyway, there's ways you could, but look, it's not going to be an issue anyway, so let's not go there, we're just wasting time, right? Let's get this table back on. Well, this is going to be a bit fiddly for me, trying to hold this and get the screw started, so this is where we get to show you we're human. So I'm going to take all the screws out so I don't drop them, because that's the first thing that's going to happen. Where is the other screw? No, there's one in there waiting for me to screw it in, so that's good. So hopefully that stays there. Grab the impact driver. We'll sit him in first. Just lightly, so we know that end's not going anywhere. We'll open up this end. Sit it in the hole. Where's the hole? Alright. Like, you know, I don't know how you feel, but I reckon it's great when you do an upgrade to the Prado and put something in that makes it more usable, like this sort of thing. I can't wait to get out on another trip. and use it, you know what I mean? Awesome. Just love, you know, being able to use the space storage, make it really ergonomic and usable. So like always, get all the screws started before you get carried away and tighten them all up. Motorbike that one a little bit because of the angle, you get that. Motorbike, what am I talking about? You know, when that spins in there, I don't know, look, cabinet maker made one come up with it. You know, he motorbikes his head off, you can't even drill a straight hole. Hope he watches this because he knows who it is. Yeah mate, I remember. If I want the hole drilled straight, I'll drill it myself. Okay, so we're not even going to be tightening the hell out of those. Look, I'll grab a Phillips head and just check and see what they feel like by hand. So I think we pretty well covered in that. I think we pretty well covered it all. I had to stick my big fat gut out to hold the table in. Comes in handy, see? But happy days, look at that. And you know they can't, so it all obviously still folds up. Still, we've got those now, so that these straps aren't, because they were slowly, I mean, this went on probably 1,000 times and they were just starting to fray a little bit. So Kaon come up with this awesome idea, so nice upgrade. If you don't know about that, hit them up, you know, they've got an email or whatever, info whatever, and they'll send you a couple of these little plastic thing upgrades and they fit in. They've got feet that lock into the old holes and a nut. It's just beautiful, you know. Like, what I really love about Kaon, so innovative and the awesome ideas and top quality product. Like, this is hammered, don't get me wrong, we leave all these chopping boards and stuff in here, so not ideal really for everyone, but rough as guts, aren't I? I know. Come on, get in there. All right, so that one goes there. Whatever, you know, because if you want to cut something, right, it's good that we've got an edge on here folded upwards so stuff doesn't fall off, you know what I mean? Knives, things, whatever, because when you've got a flat board, that's the problem you got. It's awesome to have the edge on the table. But when you're cutting something, well, this one, you know, it's actually an old one. Of course, I don't use new ones. I take the old one out of the kitchen, buy a new one. But this one's been out of the kitchen for about 10 years. Probably could go in the bin and we need a new one. But the edge is good. You do your tomato there, that way it runs there, then you can easily go wash it off, right? And of course, you know, if you're making sandwiches, whatever, a bit of crumbs, and you can just take that off. Well, not that one, eh? Not that one. That's your cheese board, okay? Take it out every now and then, whatever, right? The point is, a bit scratched up because they've been in there for a year or two, and happy days. So anyway, the main thing is, guys, there it is. There's that rear door. You can, you know, people put all sorts of things in there. You know, you can put your salt and pepper tomato sauce, whatever. For me, it's the lights that, you know, when I do start cooking, whatever, preparing food, if it's dark, I just hang. Look, a lot of people have got an LED light fitted in the trim above here and things like that. It's all good. Headlight works really well because it goes wherever you go. So I don't believe in having a lot of lights here, really. The headlight's good, but this, awesome. So for me, that's going to go there. I might actually get a little bit bigger container that fits that gap perfectly. Tell you what, I told you I was going to give you some measurements. Let me get a tape measure, because that's the closest thing. And I'm going to tell you what the distance is, because that may come in handy, all right? Now don't hold me to it, because it may vary from one end to the other, but you got 60 mil there, bit over. I'd say not less than 60, okay? So you got 60 all the way along at the top, at the bottom. Too hard to measure, not doing it now. But look, pretty close to that, so possibly what I'll do is go and get some bigger containers. That goes in and out easy, so I could get full width like that, and that could be my cutlery container that I can make bigger. Maybe I can fit everything in there, and then I don't have to, I've got a bigger container with all the other necessary stuff for when you get serious, but we try not to get serious when we're out bush, because we're meant to be relaxing, yeah? So don't need to get extravagant with the meals, we're just eating to survive. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that's been helpful for you. I know that it's a bit longer than the usual installation video, but hopefully you get more information out of it. So we'll just recap the whole job just quickly again. So if you've already got the table, you need to take that off. Then to remove the trim, 3 screws, and there's another screw behind that clip there. Okay, behind that clip, so top and bottom clip off. There's another clip at the bottom, but you can't get to it. It's just basically pull it off. So you've got, what do we say, 14 clips plus 2, was it 16, is that right? Yeah, so 3 down each side, 4 at the bottom, 4 at the top, and there was a couple more, oh well, that one down there and another one about here, probably about the center. Obviously, then you've got to sort of just unhook it off these trims at the top here, which you can't see in the picture at the moment. And then we just showed you refitting it all. I love it, job done. Again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe, turn on notifications, because we're always going to have more information coming your way. Pretty well anything to do with driving, full driving, whatever, particularly Prado, that's what we specialise in, the 1KD, and also newer vehicles, the 150s, the 120s. And the other thing I'll just add in there is we've got another channel called Touring Australia. So if you're interested in outback information, travel, and scenery and stuff like that, you might want to hit that one up for a subscription. That way, when something comes through, you won't get much coming through on that one at this stage. Obviously, this is the side of the business we're busy with, but at later dates we're going to build that up, and there's going to be a whole heap of info there. So Touring Australia, capital T, capital A. Thanks for watching. See ya. Okay, now, so the last thing we need to do is fully try the functionability. How do you like that, eh?
I like
How
it.
do you
That's
like that?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Love it.
You going to get yourself one of those?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you know what this is?
What is it? What is it? Tell me.
Okay, we'll come over to the fridge. Grab a beer out of the fridge.
Yeah.
So you grab that. I'll close him up. Come over here now. Do you reckon you know what that is?
I reckon it's a bottle opener.
Alright, let's give it a crack, mate. Let's give it a crack. Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
Don't tip it. Don't tip it. We don't want to spill it. Oh, so you're not first timers, mate. First timers. First timers.
I know why. Look.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a screw top.
Jeez, it worked anyway.
It work. There you go.
What's that?
All right, so you need to get yourself one of those, I reckon. You happy with that?
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and keep your eye for the next important information.